Dinosaur is the worst Disney movie of all damn time. This movie is boring as sin and ugly as sin. F this piece of shit movie. There isn't shit to talk about. The first 10 minutes are the best part of the movie. Those 10 minutes are cool with a good score. And when King Julian and his lemur shitheads start talking, this whole failure of an excuse for entertainment goes to a steaming pile of Triceratops fecal matter. The story is just horribly animated dinosaurs walking through boring as shit landscapes. It's so bad I can't even hate it, because that means I have passionate feelings towards it. There is no charm, no likable characters, no dramatic weight. Nothing. There's no value to this movie whatsoever, and it is one of the worst animated movies I've ever seen in my entire life. The love monkey is a prick, and I wanted to strangle his ass as soon as he opened his piece of dead family mouth. Next!
Nate, how those chicken strips?
Fuck your chicken strips!
Go.
Fuck your chicken strips!
Alright, let's get this over with. Chicken Little is bad. Like, astonishingly bad. This movie is a bad version of Shrek, which insults me personally. Where to begin with this goat shit? The production troubled as all hell, which is why it came out to be atrocious. I can't believe Disney, the studio that brought you The Lion King, The Little Mermaid, and Aladdin, made a movie where the story is worse than the animation. That is unacceptable. Chicken Little won't stop being shit on by the town and emotionally abused by his dad. He wins a basketball game and then everyone loves him. Then these annoyingly sounding aliens show up, and now Chicken Little, the ugly duckling, this fish, this fat pig, and this alien named Kirby have to stop him. What the hell? Could they seriously not pick one story? They had to make it have two plots. There are pop culture songs that don't fit. It's not funny at all. The animation is hideous, and all the characters are either ass holes or annoying little dweebs. It's stronger than Dinosaur because Kirby the alien is great, and there's one good joke every 25 attempts. It just put me in a shitty mood, and I couldn't enjoy any of it. Never watch it. It's agonizing.
Fuck everything about this movie.
This movie fails at being a sequel so hard. Ralph and Vanellope are terrible friends to each other, which don't even make sense based off how they grew such a heartwarming relationship in the original. Ralph has really bad insecurities, and he freaks out whenever Vanellope wants to chill with Shank or other people. And only sometimes, mind you. The whole point of this movie for Ralph to learn that Vanellope now living with him and being excited now is wrong. Ralph never was this emotionally selfish in the original. He never did need to learn this. His head is so far up his own ass that he can't even handle Vanellope being away from him for only a couple hours. Even though every single day they don't see each other when they go to work in their own games. And the fact that the original never warranted a sequel makes this so much worse. The movie doesn't even want to express this already poorly executed message even worse when Ralph sees all of his virus clones and says he realizes how he comes across as self-destructive. It's never subtle, and them being away from each other is enough to show this message. The characters are assassinated, which is why the message this movie tries to convey fails. I don't even think the directors even watched the original. Corporate frat party. The time we're in Oh My Disney sucks. Most of it is not funny and nothing to gain here whatsoever. This movie is not boring, but it fails in so many ways that it's ridiculous. I guess the Disney Princess stuffs was great and Spamton is pretty cool. And it actually has one pretty good song. But screw this movie, I don't want to talk about it anymore. But I feel like it will come back for me.
No, Ginny, they come from cows.
So it comes from your mom? Oh, burn! Hey, waiter, can I order a Cody's Mom Burger?
Home on the Range. Let me say the things I liked about it. The animation is fine. This egotistical horse is funny at times and has a good character arc. And the villain isn't bad at all. And his villain song is actually enjoyable. If only he was in a better movie. This movie just sucks a boatload of ass. The main cow characters suck, especially Rosen. She's not likable and very lame. Their goal is finding the bandit villain, and it's not funny at all. It's not even a hilariously bad time like Chicken Little or B-Movie. All the attempts at jokes don't feel like they're ever trying. There isn't much to say about it. There is annoying burping, and it happens a lot. The bar fight isn't fun, and the cowboys are annoying. There is no reason to watch this, and the stuff it has to value is not really worth it. There is so much bullshit, and Patrick Warburton shows up randomly for like a minute. It's awful. I don't know what to say. Moving on.
What's that?
Hair? Hair?
Oh, bear!
Brother Bear isn't the worst Disney movie. Brave is worse for sure. And the first 20 minutes are great. A very mature telling of these three Native American brothers, and then one of them dies. It feels like this will be a very profound story about grief, and the song at the start is a banger. But then those asshole animals start talking. This is so annoying, and there are annoying asshole characters. It was this great idea of turning Kenai into a bear, and now he has to be Koda's new guardian after killing Koda's mom. Late in the film, Kenai realizes he killed Koda's mom, and that shit is great. But this movie destroys that compelling shit by having shitty, unfunny baby jokes and terrible songs. The songs are by Phil Collins, and they get worse and worse and worse and worse. On My Way is fine despite only letting Koda sing only a couple words, which is stupid. There's this We're So Happy song, and it's so hilariously bad, and it doesn't fit at all. The worst one is the one that prevents us from hearing the great character moment and ruining it because it sounds like shit and sounds like a terrible parody. I guess I did find the moose a little funny, and Joaquin Phoenix as Kenai was charming because I hear the Joker, but there's no reason to watch this shit. Moving on.
Barf! Barf, 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 woof, woof, woof! Barf! Oh, please stop. No, God, why?
Bolt is one of those movies I have a lot of nostalgia for from my memories as a kid, but now I think it's just okay. I rewatched it not too long ago, and I think it has some fun moments. The action scene at the start is fun, and Penny and Bolt's relationship is perfectly fine. The cat is okay, even if she is a bit obnoxious at times. There are some funny times, and the journey isn't anything particularly interesting, but it's alright. Now for the stuff I don't like. The station that makes the Bolt show is ridiculous. They be like, we need Bolt to believe that everything he sees is real, otherwise it will ruin the immersion for the audience. So, we must not do any alternate takes. Oh no! The mic got into the frame, even thought we could just remove it with CGI. What if one of those effects or an actor screwed up? Has that never happened before? The hamster is annoying. He's always praising Bolt, and he never shuts up about it. John Travolta as Bolt is boring, and he needs a better actor, especially for a superhero dog. Bolt's arc is just, I'm not a real super dog, but I guess being a regular dog is just as great as being a super dog. So, it's just Buzz Lightyear's arc, but far less emotional. Also, this movie hates cats, and it hurts, and it is annoying. This movie is just okay, nothing special, but not bad at all.
Stop acting like you know the way ahead, like you know the rules. There are no rules, man. We're lost. No.
Okay, let me explain to you all what the plot of Frozen 2 is. Y'all ready? Okay, here we go. Anna and Elsa's mother saved their father from dying. The forest spirits want to congratulate her, so they give their daughter Elsa ice powers she can't control, and that left her in her own quarantine, and which caused their parents' untimely death when they wanted to fix the ice curse. Thank you, spirits. My parents are dead. Elsa is now being called a spirit, which the team working on the film didn't even figure out who this spirit was. So, Elsa can watch a snow version of her grandfather attacking the peaceful tribe living in the mysterious forces. They show this to her because they realize the dam they built was not good. Elsa is then frozen like the title of this franchise, but then she sends an email to Anna that showcases their grandfather killing the people of this tribe. Elsa never learned how to do this. How did she do it? Anyway, Anna, after seeing this, immediately realizes that this email of a snow sculpture showing a mass genocide means that the dam is evil. How did she figure that out? Also, how did the snow email find Anna? There are only two good songs, Show Yourself and Lost in the Woods. Lost in the Woods is great, but has no reason to be in the movie. It's only here because we didn't have Kristoff sing enough last time, which is actually the reason. Like, that's real and dumb. Anna is pretty great in this movie. It's clear how she has matured after the events of the first movie. Elsa is pretty great as well. Her story is only a little more interesting, but it is a really good journey of self-discovery. Olaf in the original was somewhat funny, and in Frozen 2 he is obnoxious, so that sucks. When they arrive in the forest, they are lost. Olaf sings. They fight the wind spirit. Eventually they meet the tribes living in the forest who add nothing to the story and could be removed without anything changing. Then fight the fire spirit. Then Elsa befriends the fire spirit. And then, wait, where are we? How did we get here? Oh, wait, Kristoff is out the movie for the next 30 minutes? What? There are elements of good stuff here, but it's not put together very well. I know all these points are scattershot, but that's basically why the movie is like this. Disney gave their studio a deadline, and the studio didn't have enough time to flesh out the movie. But the most frustrating part about this movie is the ending. Have Arendelle be destroyed by the big-ass wave as a symbol of having to rebuild after all the sins this kingdom made. There's no one there right now, and it would be perfect. But we didn't get that. Elsa saved a bunch of worthless buildings like Godzilla's Revenge. That doesn't build Elsa as a character, that's just lame. Look, the two tribes should have mattered to the story, and this whole movie seems underbaked. But obviously the scene where Olaf recaps the first movie is great, and the only funny thing he does in this movie, so that's nice.
That was his mistake. That was his mistake. That's his mistake. That was his mistake.
There's actually quite a bit of things I like about Big Hero 6. This movie talks about grief when Tadashi dies. Speaking of Tadashi, what a great character. The movie has this message of how Tadashi is Hiro's father figure, and after Hiro loses him, the movie then has an even better message about grief. A lot of the scenes focused on this are pretty effective. It's heartbreaking when he dies, not just for the characters, but also for us, because the movie unfortunately gets weaker after this. But before that, I want to talk about more stuff I like about it. Obviously Baymax and his shenanigans is funny, and that's the best part of the movie. The superhero stuff is fun. I like the designs of them. The bot fight scene is pretty enjoyable. Okay, now for the stuff I don't like. Professor Callahan is one of the worst Disney villains of all time. He never considers going into the portal to get her back, and it gets worse when you realize she's still alive. He rebuilds the portal, but not to get her back, but to suck up Kray's new building. Callahan is supposed to be pretty smart, but never does a single smart thing. Why the hell is he trying to kill his students? Why does he act like he cares about them, but then tries to kill them? He never acts like he ever cared about Tadashi, Hiro, or any of their friends. This is when they messed up the grieving message. Hiro's side of the message is him losing his brother, and it is effective because Hiro acts sad and depressed and has good writing. Callahan is not grieving. He's just killing people with no good reason. It's like they got really great writers for Hiro and grieving, then they gave the other half to idiots who didn't know how to contrast this with the two characters. I have other problems too. While I find the superhero stuff is fun, the side characters doing the superhero stuff are unmemorable, and they don't really build them up as characters. Now, I don't hate these side characters. They are amusing in some places. It's this dumbass T.J. Miller comic relief who never funny. Everything he says is annoying as hell, ruins the side character's reputation, is so unpleasant, and I hate T.J. Miller so damn much. The only funny parts of this movie are Baymax. Every time any other character tries to be, it's never funny. When Callahan reveals he's the twist villain, it sucks, because it was so obvious. Even back in 2014, I knew he was going to be the twist villain. Why should I be invested in him when he sucks as a twist villain, and the fact that it was obvious? I do like this movie enough, but the things that suck about it suck pretty damn hard. But at least it has its good moments.
I find myself walking around going, you know what I should really... Fuck, it's cold!
Frozen is perfectly fine. But much like Big Hero 6, the things that suck about this movie really suck. Half of the songs in this movie suck. The Cutting Ice song is painfully unmemorable, like no child sings to it, it's so bad. Do You Want to Build a Snowman is annoying as shit, and the context it's used in is shit because of this song. The Rock Troll song is atrocious. This is the worst song in the movie. Why the hell are they having this shitty love song when Anna has a heart that's freezing to death? The side villain is shit and doesn't add anything to the movie at all. Hans is slightly better than Callahan, but he is very close to sucking just as much ass. It feels like they just threw his ass in the movie last minute. Like, we can't just have a conflict with Elsa trying to help Anna with her frozen heart. We also have to Hans try to kill Elsa so his bitch ass can rule the kingdom. The side villain was already trying to kill Elsa. Why didn't Disney just have that guy try to kill Elsa? Hell, he already was trying to kill Elsa, so what is damn point of Hans turning to the dark side? Like, Hans isn't even revealed to be the bad guy until the last 15 minutes, and when he is, I can't take him seriously. His writing is such ass. Elsa depression is also not developed enough. It could have been great, but they never explore it. But with all of that being said, I still really like the other half of this movie. Let It Go is really that good. Love's an Open Door is really that guy. Both First Time and Forever songs are really that good. The Summer song is fine to a flame. Olaf is actually funny in this movie, and then Never Again. Anna, Olaf, and Kristoff are pretty great together that play off really well. Kristoff and Anna may not give off well chemistry in terms of love, but they are still pretty funny even if this movie thinks are a smartass by not having Anna and Kristoff have that much chemistry to show how Anna isn't a weak female lead. And also, despite Disney thinking romance makes female leads weak, which actually is not true. This movie is really pretty and well directed. It feels like they put a lot of care into the visuals. Elsa also is pretty enjoyable too, even if I prefer her journey in Frozen 2. There are good elements here, but it's weighted so heavily, but it's goat shit elements, that it unfortunately makes it only decent. I wish this movie was full of great elements, not perfect, but also not having half of its aspects ass. It's sad it was made this way, and I just wish this was a way better movie. But, you know, at least it's got amazing stuff too.
Froggy, Froggy, Froggy.
Okay, here we go. I like The Princess and the Frog, but I wish it could have a higher rank on my list. The first act is really great. Tiana is a great Disney princess and protagonist. Naveen is pretty fun. Dr. Facilier is a classy villain. The songs are great. This movie is really great. Until Tiana becomes a frog. Tiana has zero reason to become a frog. She didn't do anything wrong. And it doesn't help achieve her goal of getting here restaurant, nor does it help her grow as a character. How the hell does kissing frog Naveen even turn her into a frog? Why did Dr. Facilier program the magic to do this specific effect? His whole plan was to keep Naveen locked away forever, so it wouldn't even be a possibility. There is no damn point. As a result of this chicanery, the movie takes a nosedive the quality department. This isn't great in the middle junk. I guess there are some fun moments. I like Lewis and the Gonna Take You There song isn't terrible like I used to think. But there's so much bully shit. The alligators are annoying, the hunters are annoying, and Raymond the Firefly is the worst thing about this movie by a landslide. Raymond is an annoying little prick. He is one of the biggest racial stereotypes I've ever heard, and I cheered when that little stoopy-dash shithead got stomped on by the villain. Okay, I just remembered that I like this movie. The third act is solid, but there are convoluted plot points. But I don't really mind them all that much. I still had fun with the songs like Dig a Little Deeper, Friends on the Other Side, and Almost There are really, really great. There are some songs that are just okay like the originals and Human Again Wannabe, but still enjoyable. Again, Going Down the Bayou isn't terrible, but the other Firefly songs suck hard. I like most of the characters, and Ray can go burn in hell. Look, I really wish this movie could be better with its really high highs. But there is so much stupid shit and Ray is an ass. It just left me wanting more. Oh well, I still like it, but I just can't take it.
That's not Piglet, it's a frickin' warthog mask from Party City. This movie makes me so angry.
Winnie the Pooh 2011 is the weaker of the two Winnie the Pooh films in the Walt Disney Animation Studios canon. The original Winnie the Pooh film was better because it felt like a full package, while the 2011 film feels unfinished and the credits start rolling in less than an hour in. But overall, this one is fine. I don't think it's anything special though. It's lackluster and I wasn't as charmed or felt like nostalgia was falling down my spine with the original or other cute films like a short film. The songs are fine, but I forgot about all of them. The animation is fine and is the only traditional animated film on this list. It gets really pretty at some points, but that's it for anything special. The story to fight the Bashin is lame, and I just wish this was a collection of stories with these characters like Fantasia or a classic Winnie the Pooh show. That way, it would feel finished, and with this movie being too short, that would have gotten me more invested. For me, this movie is absolutely carried by nostalgia and not much else. But at least nothing about it sucks like some of the elements in movies like Big Hero 6 or Frozen. I don't really have much to say about this film. It's a perfectly fine and enjoyable shorter movie, and I guess I got most of what I wanted from a later Winnie the Pooh film. It's fine. I like it.
If you travel to the past, that past becomes your future, and your former present becomes the past, which can't now be changed by your new future.
Exactly.
Meet the Robinsons is actually surprising good. The only problems I really have are there too many underdeveloped family members of the Addams family, and the only good is the Adam West pizza guy. This movie also has some parts with them had no structure, and it did become tedious. It was very random and didn't help the tone. Despite these problems, this movie always picks itself back up by having hilarious and incredibly clever writing. So many little moments that are just really funny, and oh my god, Bowler Hat Guy is an amazing Disney villain. Such a great backstory of how petty and heartbreaking it is. He refuses to move on from his past, while Lewis always wants to be moving forward. That's great writing. Lewis and Wilbur also have great chemistry and play off of each other pretty solidly. Meet the Robinsons is just really funny, emotional, and just overall an unexpectedly great time. I didn't expect this movie to be great, but I'm so happy that it is. Definitely flawed, but I could care less. Go watch it, guys. It's so much fun.
The animals are leaving. The animals.
You know what's weird? I didn't actually remember Zootopia being flawed all that much. This is pretty good, but this movie has some problems with its message. Commentary this movie presents regarding race has good intentions, but it's not subtle. For the whole movie, there's so much talk about characters who somehow equated to race, and they just shove it in your face for the longest time. It doesn't feel effective, and this movie treats the characters like they are puppets held by strings for the movie's messages. These messages are good, but need to be subtle and not with animals. An important rule to film and storytelling is show don't tell. When a bunny mom pulls her daughter away from a tiger, that's very strong and effective because it's subtle. But back to the animal problem. This movie separates prey and predators from each other and equates them to real-life people. It does not work because a white man and a black man brain work the same. And this does not work with a bunny and a fox. When Judy unhooks her fox repellent, when Nick questions her about if he will eat him, of course she's going to be scared. He's a fox. A fox and a rabbit's brain do not work the same as a white man's and a black man's would. These are animals. There is a food chain. They work in their own unique ways. You don't see that with humans. We just don't work like that. This connects with this message makes even less sense when they equate predator animals to actually people are really messed up. The scene when the pig yells at the leopard to go back to the forest and she tells him she's from the savannah made me feel uncomfortable, because by this movie's logic, that would equate to my race and culture. I am Mexican, and this scene gives off the feeling of like how an anti-Mexican sentiment supporter would say go back to your own country to a Mexican. That may just be me, but that's a good example of how this message would work better if this wasn't about animals. A leopard is me as in a Mexican, and the pig is the one who is against Mexicans. And us Mexicans are not scary or act like predator animals. This just does not work. I should not have to say any of this, Disney. But that's what happens when you make your movie have animals with animal characteristics, which is fine. But you can't mix that with animals, especially in the way we think of how the food chain works. It's so misguided and offensive that don't really feel like it should even be in the movie. Hell, the Callahan and Hero Grief contrast was better than this. Also, the sheep twist villain sucks so much ass. It's obvious, and she's revealed to be evil in the last 10 fucking minutes. Her motivation was understandable, but I don't even remember her name. She's not threatening, and she never makes a hint that she could be evil. She's just acting pretty much and talks nicely to everyone before she's revealed to be evil. There's no scene where she smiles to herself, which means she wants to cause race war in Zootopia, which makes the movie's message even worse. I hate the nudist colony scene. It's not funny and makes this message even worse because real-life people don't take off their clothes with each other in a big group like that. What the hell? Why is this ranked number 4 out of the 9 films here? Because Nick and Judy are really well written. They have great chemistry, play off of each other very well, and they are so much fun. There are so many scenes that are so much fun too. The Breaking Bad references, the Godfather references, the Arctic Shrewstown chase scene. The Try Everything song sucks, but I love how Disney never references it in anything. The whole case is really enjoyable. This movie also doesn't try to make Judy and Nick have a romance with each other, which is great because that would make this movie weaker. The sloth scene is fun and Flash the Sloth is great. And it's also quite funny. This movie is still pretty god, but I'm afraid it will get weaker over time. Back at 2016, this would definitely rank at number 2 on this list. But now, the message doesn't give off the same vibe as it once did. Still, being ranked at 4th place is still nothing to sneeze at.
So, looks like Donald and Goofy couldn't finish the job, huh?
The only bad part about Fantasia 2000 is the celebrity cameos sucked and felt like the Oscars and ruined the tone. James Earl Jones is great though. I don't have much to say about this movie. It feels like a concert, and it is only a collection of shorts rather than a single movie with a story. Some stories are much better than others. The Tin Soldier is the weakest one probably, and the only one I wish wasn't in here. The rest range from great to phenomenal. The anime Nature Girl and the New York one was both spectacular, with incredibly well done visuals with very fitting music and stories. The others are also great, and even the Flamingo one is pretty decent. I wish it could be a little longer, but nothing is here for too long like the terrible fun and fancy-free film. But yeah, Fantasia 2000 is pretty damn great with some of the best visuals Disney has ever made.
Looking for is a cute girl with blonde hair and blue eyes. But all my boys out there, we all know that what we're really looking for is Atlantis, an ancient city filled with treasure.
Atlantis the Lost Empire is unfortunately underrated. Is it good? Yes, definitely. It makes sense that this movie is as good as it is because it's behind the duo who made Beauty and the Beast. The best part is the characters. I don't really care for Mole Man, Milo, Kita, Rourke, and the side characters are all great. They are so distinct and charming and fun, and I really wish we got to develop them more, which is my main problem with the movie. We don't get to develop the side characters more. We're just told their individual backstories and life goals. They change at the end where they need to save the people of Atlantis, and that's about it. I just wanted more from them. The old man worker I didn't care for much though. I just found him weird and not very interesting. But aside from Mole and the old man, all the characters play off of each other really well and are so funny. Some parts of the story take a little too long for my taste, like before Kita gets captured here transformation, while greatly executed, took a little too long and I thought it was going to spook me. The animated is really well made and it reminds of some sort of fan-made comic, and it makes the mysterious story and help the characters tick out more. I was excited to see what Atlantis and the Atlanteans would be like, and they are pretty interesting, but a little more would have been nice. The visuals with the robotic Leviathan and the portal blocking the lava at the end are incredibly well animated and visually stunning. I just wish there was more, just a little more though. Some of the jokes I don't find funny, like the whoop-I cushion one from Mole. That's probably because I don't care for this Mole Man very much. But, overall, this movie is great and it's what I wanted from a movie about a poorly recorded historical event that is probably a myth.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together. Boom baby! I don't think The Emperor's New Groove is a masterpiece, but it's still pretty damn good. I wish it had songs and took its emotional moments more seriously by slowing down and letting us feel those feels. But this movie is still a perfect one when it comes to the comedy aspect of it. This movie's so funny with nonsense humor, and that cast is just such a blast. Kuzco is one of the best character arcs in any animated film. He goes from being an asshole to being a loving and caring person in his own egotistical way. Patrick Warburton as Kronk is lovable to watch. Bertha Kidd as Isma is so furious and entertaining. And John Goodman as Pasha is really passionate, and it shows how caring he is. This movie isn't long enough, and the inclusion of those songs would have been better, like I said. The plot is really well written though, with so much fun that only comes rarely like this in this way. It feels really clever and zany with its animation. I just really love this one. It's The Emperor's New Groove, and it couldn't be more hilarious.
Tie game! What the hell? This is outrageous!
I'm sorry, but I can't pick one of these films I love more. Both Tangled and Wreck-It Ralph are just pulling on me and begging me to say which one of them is better. Let's start with Tangled. Tangled is really easy to love, and it tells a great romance story, Eugene and Rapunzel. It was the last romance-centric film they did, and I missed them a lot, but this one is amazing. Both Eugene and Rapunzel both play off of each other incredibly well, and on their own, they are so much fun. It does take a little too long for the journey to start. Mother Knows Best is all that great of a song, and the animation isn't as vibrant nor is as good looking when compared to some of the other 3D animated Disney movies. But I could not care less because this movie has so much fun stuff in it. All the songs range from good to amazing. I Got a Dream, the intro song, and the other songs are great. But Do You See the Light is the best one. Rapunzel finally has her dream of seeing the lanterns for so long. After this, Rapunzel and Eugene hold hands and realize that they're each other's new dream. Amazing! There's other great stuff too. Maximus is probably the best fictional horse. He has zero chill, and every time he's on screen, it's a riot. I am jealous of how furious he can be. I wish I could ride an animal like that one day. This movie is a spectacular return to Disney's tradition of fairy tale based movies. Princess and the Frog tried hard, but I'm glad Tangled didn't screw it up like that movie did. Tangled is great, man. Now for its competition on this ranking, Wreck-It Ralph. Okay, let me get the stuff that isn't good about this movie really quick. Some cliche elements, stupid immature jokes, and how Eggman doesn't make a reference about you get a load of this is disappointing, and it would have been great. That's it. Okay, now for good stuff. This movie made me cry. Ralph wreaking the cart is the only way Ralph thinks to save Vanellope, which is completely understandable. But it hurts so much because their friendship is very special to you, them, and the movie. Vanellope sees this as a massive betrayal, which is what her mean opponents in the race did when they wrecked her old car. Vanellope never expected this, and how it's all King Candy's fault just pisses me off. King Candy is slippery and entertaining as hell, but the fact that he caused all this emotional pain is just infuriating. And it's told to us incredibly well. This world in this arcade is surprisingly well expressed. It never feels like it's a corporate frat party like Space Jam 2 or the Emoji Movie. It made me feel like I was playing Smash Brothers. It really felt like a gaming crossover, and all cameos work perfectly. It's trying to advertise and isn't forced, which makes me so excited to see Bowser and others appear while also leaving a happy taste. All the relationships with the characters are so well written while holding a video game feel to them. There's no dated content in this movie, and it is such a relief and pretty unexpected. Felix, Calhoun, Ralph, Vanellope, King Candy, and the others are so charming and so much fun to watch in so many different ways for each character. It has a great concept, powerful moments, great stories, and animation that is just gorgeous. I'm so happy that I can enjoy the Wreck-It Ralph film, and I'm glad they never made another one. So now, which one is better? Tangled or Wreck-It Ralph? Well, to think about it, Wreck-It Ralph feels like I should like Ralph more, right? It's a very creative work of art, and you can tell the people who worked on it did their homework on video games. It's also very lovable and a great gaming crossover. It is the one I connect with more, and it would be really easy to give this one rank higher than Tangled. But when I consider and take into account how Tangled is just as lovable, fun, powerful, and is a great return to the classic Disney formula, as well as having its own unique aspects of it, it really comes down to which one I would rather watch. So, I'm sorry, but I can't choose. Wreck-It Ralph would be a go-to movie, but Tangled would be a really loose contender for it as a go-to movie, for the purposes of this ranking. It hurts so much, but Wreck-It Ralph is number 2 and Tangled is number 3. But really, it's a tie. This is just how I'd rank for the sake of a ranking video.
Baby squirrel use a sexy motherfucker.
Treasure Planet is very great. I don't think it's a true masterpiece like others, but this movie is incredibly underrated definitely. The second half of this movie I have a problem with, and it's what keeps this from being a true masterpiece for me. I still really enjoy it. This movie was shockingly spectacular for me personally. But Ben is this annoying shithead robot who is never funny ever, and the fact that they make him out to be this important just pisses me off. He never shuts up and is what tells our heroes that the treasure planet has a planetary booby trap and will blow up the whole planet. If he wasn't a prick, then this movie would be a true masterpiece for me. Also, the Doppler and Amelia relationship isn't developed enough, and I wish it was more interesting. But aside from those irritating issues, this movie is still amazing. John Silver and Jim Hawkins are some of the best written characters in any Disney film. They play off of each other so well. Silver is revealed as the twist villain at the start and grows to truly care about Jim. Jim starts out as this typical teenager, but grows to have fun with Silver and truly have a bond with him. Jim grows into a hero in a believable way, and it really works because of how realistic it feels. Despite Doppler and Amelia's side romance that doesn't feel right, I did like them quite a bit even if Amelia isn't developed enough for me. But both are still good. The pirates are pretty menacing, Morph is great, the aesthetic is unique and really interesting and fun to look at, and this story just hits so well, man. A story about Jim who wants to rebuild his mom's restaurant after it being destroyed, Silver secretly wanting the gold for himself with his pirates, and just so many fun moments like the Jim and Silver bonding montage, the start of the whole voyage, the black hole scene, just a blast the whole way through. I really like this movie, and I hope one day the issues I have will be tolerable and I can say this is a true masterpiece like a lot of other people say. Still, this is pretty damn great. It's not a true masterpiece, so I'll get the not good stuff out of the way first. Some of the jokes aren't all that funny. Cliches, Maui coming back for no reason before the climax is dumb, but at least it is one of the better uses of the two characters splitting up before the climax trope. And that's it. Here we go and bring the good stuff. Moana is a pretty great protagonist and Disney princess. She's really funny and quick-witted. She is doubting herself, but keeps going despite her mess-ups and failures. She keeps going because the ocean chose her to be the hero, and it knew that deep down. Moana is just really enjoyable and inspiring by never giving up. It reminds me of myself and how I keep going despite my struggles. Now for Maui. The Rock is in this movie and his character is just near perfection. He has such a sad backstory of how his family tossed him out and then he was made a demigod. But doing everything for humanity is just to help him cope with his past. He learns to overcome this and truly learns that he can be even more. Moana and Maui play off of each other incredibly well. They are so funny and have so much depth. The action is wonderful and exciting, all the songs slap and are lovely to listen to. The best song is Shiny, The I Am Moana sequence is beautifully realized scene and it is so hyped to watch. And now for probably the best Disney character in history. Tamatoa, he is shiny, he is epic, he is a perfectly crafted character and has some of the best writing for a song ever. This story is so damn great and seeing Moana overcome her weaknesses makes her even more inspiring. But it's that final scene during the climax, when Moana shows so much empathy and showing Taka who she truly is and how she knows it. It is one of my favorite scenes in all of film. Moana has fought tooth and nail to get to this point, and how it feels earned so deservingly just brings me to tears. Taka gets to turn back into Te Fiti with her heart restored shows how her heart was in the wrong place. Literally and figuratively. Now Te Fiti can return to the beautiful island she is and stop the dark void from destroying all life on the planet. After an incredibly fun action final battle with a kaiju, a demigod, and Moana is there with the ocean, this climax just gives me everything I love like kaiju battles and fictional all-powerful beings. They put just as much compassion into this scene as much compassion Moana has during it. This movie just has everything for me and more. Comedy, a kaiju, inspiring protagonist, empathy, realizing you more than just what you seem like, and more. I love this movie. You love it. It's fantastic. Number 1 is my favorite Disney movie of all time. Disney has brought me some of the greatest memories of all time. I will never forget movies like Aladdin, The Lion King, The Little Mermaid, and so many others. But this one just gives me all the things I could ever ask for from Disney. A movie that sticks out and is quite unique of all movies for me among some of my favorite films of all time. Number 1 of my Disney 2000s ranking is Lilo and Sitch. This movie just has it all. It's from the duo who would go on to make How to Train Your Dragon. And I love stories that have two unlikely friendships with a quirky human and vicious but caring creature. When done right, of course. Anyway, Lilo and Stitch's bond is just magic. Lilo is a destructive and difficult child with her sister Nanny, and they both have tragic story of two lost parents, and Nanny has to take care of Lilo herself. Stitch was made to destroy, but feels like the perfect best friend for Lilo because he's also destructive. They both come together and Lilo finds a friend who appreciates her, and Stitch develops into finding purpose. A purpose of caring and showing that he's way more than what he was made to be. It shows that anyone can be way more than what they were made out to be. It just warms my heart. Lilo and Nanny fight, but still love each other and are struggling to adjust to having no parents, and again, Nanny has to do all the work. It's so realistic and it feels uncomfortable, but you feel for them and want them to be better, because you don't want Lilo to be taken away. It's so intense and hurts me emotionally to see them go through this. The Aloha scene is devastating and made me cry the first time I saw it. Not many movies make me cry, but it's ones like these that do. It just speaks to me so well, and I love how this movie still manages to be so funny, full of action, heartwarming, beautifully animated, and the fact that all the characters are likable and how both the human and alien sides to the movie just work so damn well together is just magnificent. It sounds like it doesn't work, but it surprisingly does, and it is just so magically. All the characters have so incredibly arcs too, and this is a movie I now make a video on eventually. I would love to talk about this movie in its own separate video. It's so amazing and just the best Disney movie and the best Disney 2000s movie by a landslide.